Good job. At least you're gonna roll him down the hill. Catty, you animal. Now what? You're getting.
World is full of clowns, they're all stupid and they're proud, painted smiles on their mouths. I don't hang with bozos, homie, I can't be around.
Hello everybody, Drew here for Drew That Underground and Breaking Rocks 54. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. On tonight's stream, we got to talk about the Arizona Supreme Court and the abortion debate. We'll get into that in a few minutes. We're going to check out the story trailer for Star Wars Outlaws because people have been pissed about that. So we want to know why, even though we have a good guess on that, don't we?
Yeah.
And by that sound, you also know Desert Nord is here, pointing the wrong way again. Hey, bro.
Yep.
And also, we got to talk about the YouTube copyright claim system for the 500 millionth fucking time, everybody. Yes, I'm sipping on my coffee in my new Hangover Gang coffee mug. Shout out to Tom McDonald for that. And also for the hat I'm wearing, too. But on that note, we're also going to talk about Pokemon Go, because this guy over here plays Pokemon Go, or is that no longer the case after the recent update to it?
No, I didn't delete my account or anything.
Well, I'm just checking because people boycott things for going woke, you know?
No, I know.
But on that note, we're going to start at the top of my notes. Arizona Supreme Court upholds an abortion law from the book on the books since 1864. And according to my notes, the only exemption is aborting the baby for the sake of the mother's life. In this, Nord?
Yeah. So as far as what all transpired here, all it really was sort of in response, and this is actually required of all of the states. When I say required, I mean for those states that have any laws that were previously in effect prior to the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision.
Mm-hmm.
All of those states that had something on the books before that are required to do a review process and required to, at that point, take the reins, because that was what the U.S. Supreme Court, in their ruling overturning Roe v. Wade, said, was like, we're no longer touching this issue. It's a state's issue. We're throwing it back to the states. If any state has a choice, or any kind of like idea, any kind of volition of their own to do it a different way with their laws, then so be it. And so in response to that, our Supreme Court took up a review of the law that had been in effect prior to that ruling at the federal level, and ruled that, well, ours goes back into effect, which was the previous law prior. It wasn't a new law. It wasn't a past law. It's not just a law. It wasn't like the way they talk about it. They talk about it like it was an old law that we got rid of that was bad, and that now we're going to have to go back to it because we're stupid or something.
It's been on the books since 1864.
It's never not been a part of the Arizona Constitution. Now, whether or not it should be a matter of Arizona law or not, that's whatever. That's the debate, I guess. That's the real debate.
And a quick history lesson for those that may not know. 1864. That was during the era or the years of the American Civil War, in which the Confederate States were fighting against the Union, i.e. the United States. Bro, right?
Yeah, well, okay. Well, that would be an irrelevant point.
Well, I was just asking, right, because there's more here to it than that I was going to say.
Sure.
Case in point, when 1864, what was Arizona during that time? It was a Confederate state. In other words,
Yeah, it was a territory. It was part of the Nevada territory.
we're talking about a law on the books for the state of Arizona since before it was ever a fucking state here, folks.
Well, yeah, sure. It was territory law, and then when Arizona was founded in 1912, it was enshrined in the Arizona Constitution, but not enforced uh, as soon as the feds ruled in 73. Between 1912 in the Arizona Constitution and 1973, it was enforced in the state.
Yeah. And now with that, there are people like Carrie Lake coming out against this. Well, first of all, Carrie Lake, I thought you were pro-life.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. I personally, I was thinking about that situation and thinking to myself, perhaps she just thinks that it's a more popular stance to not support this, or maybe she's one of these people that, well, I mean, maybe she just wants the law in Arizona to be like, look, maybe this 1864 situation is a little too extreme, and that she believes there should be further exceptions and specifics that are legal besides what the 1864 law says. Maybe she just disagrees with the details. Like that's a very plausible thing. In fact, it's actually maybe even reasonable. But it's weird that she's just gonna take the moment to try and like do what she thinks is the popular thing,
Which
is to
is
bitch, which is
not,
to bitch about this.
which makes her sound like a woke Karen at this point.
I mean, it can come off wrong if somebody says things in the wrong way. That's always the case.
And she's been coming out against it in the wrong way.
People
For
don't
sure.
often say what they mean, and sometimes what they mean is not what the media reports.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Because
we've seen that over and over and over.
Yeah, as we
Like
well
the
know,
media does that shit. The media does that shit to Donald Trump all day long.
Yeah, the mainstream media is guilty of misleading the American people, and everything that they accuse people like you and I here on YouTube of misinformation. Well, they are the most guilty of it. We actually try to find the truth, but the truth to them is misinformation. So, go figure.
But the thing that interests me or bothers me or whatever, my sort of gripe about the whole situation is like, okay, if all of the people who are screaming to high heavens in this state and elsewhere about this ruling by the Arizona Supreme Court, if they are in a position where they are among the vast majority of either Arizonans or people on the issue, especially here, then what's the problem with them just being like, look, okay, we need to take this moment and suggest a fresh update to Arizona law, and here's what we would like changed with this 1864 law, and here's what we do believe should be in effect in the state, and here's the whole package we would like to see for Arizona law,
Mm-hmm.
and then pass that through the Arizona legislature, okay? Why don't they just do that if their point of view is so popular in this state, and that everybody's so supposedly mad about this? Then why don't they just do that if that's really true? Now, see, what I don't believe their point of view is actually all that popular in this state. In this state, it's been anti-abortion for a very, very long time. Okay, the population here, and many of the people who live here have been hostage to Roe v. Wade, having to sit here and watch their neighbors and friends, engage in this institution of abortion without Arizona law being able to say anything about it because of the feds getting in the way. So, in light of the decision, the Arizona law being now the law here, first of all, is just the regular course of things. It's not a change. It's not a new law. It's not something that they're putting in place that wasn't in place. It's none of that. It's just the prevailing wind that was here allowing to blow. And somehow this is supposedly shocking to people here. Supposedly this is somehow, oh my God, there goes women's rights or something. And I'm just like, if that's really true, then why would you not just suggest a change in the law then and move on with your lives? Like, look, Just sit there and say, okay, we understand what happened. We're not necessarily pissed about it. We'd like the law to be changed, and
Yeah.
just go from there. That might even seem reasonable to most people. Okay, but that's not what they're doing. They're up there boycotting the state, getting pissed off, having protests, and ready to, go to war over this. It's like, then you look like a stupid person, because that's not necessary.
Or setting yourself on fire.
Or shit like that. Yeah. Or people doing really irrational shit like that.
Which happened recently outside the courthouse.
And
at a Trump thing.
And sometimes you know why, and sometimes you don't. But it's never. Self-immolation is such a fucking. It's almost indescribably extreme in terms of political action, and. These days, it seems like people are just doing it because they know that is extreme, and not because they actually have a valid reason to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of the last 5 times I've seen somebody do that, and believe me, there's been more than 5 in this country in the last couple of years. I've been sitting there going, they didn't need to do that. They could have just made a fucking YouTube video, or carried a sign. They didn't have to kill themselves. They didn't have to fucking set themselves on fire. They didn't have to do that. Like, it's not even as impactful as they think it is. It really isn't in terms of, political messaging. It's really not. Over in other countries, it is, because the Buddhists and some other groups, especially during the Vietnam War, there were several. That was a very, very potent way of, like, if you couldn't express your point of view, if you were politically oppressed, your only way of expressing it was a fatalist way. But we have that in this country. You can sit there and say, I don't agree with this. I hate so-and-so. I don't like this, that, and the other thing. You can carry a sign. You can go in public. You can speak your mind. Yeah, you'll get pushback from people, but you can still do that. So this idea that they have no choice but to set themselves on fire is ridiculous. In this country, it's ridiculous. We don't live right now, at least, crossing our fingers here. We don't live in a full, oppression situation here. We're headed toward it, but we don't live in that currently.
Mm-hmm.
And so for people to be acting like, oh my God, whether it's about Palestine, or whether it's about abortion, or whether it's about Trump, or whatever it is, for people to be setting themselves on fire over things in this country is so fucking overplayed, honestly. Because you're not living in the type of oppression where you aren't allowed to say what your opinion is. Are you allowed to just say, oh, I have an opinion, and therefore my opinion should dictate the law and what the federal government does? Well, no, you don't get to do that, because we have more than just your opinion, sir, to consider when dealing with these things.
Be careful, you might get the FBI kicking down your door there.
I'm just saying, it's like, I don't understand why someone thinks that that's an effective way of dealing with anything, really, politically here in this country.
Although usually when you say something, I get blamed for it in the comments. So you'll say something, but the FBI will be kicking in my door and arresting me for something that you said.
Well, my comment here is a plea towards reasonability. I'm not sitting there and saying every single person who has, ever done that themselves didn't have a valid point. Like, maybe they have a valid point, but setting yourself on fire, for instance, is way off the water, way off the chart. It's off in space in terms of reasonable.
But to wrap up this topic, I know people are uppity about sources and whatnot. Well, my source for this topic was One American News. So,
yeah, well,
you could go check it out for yourself and look it all up for yourself.
What I would recommend is, there's 2 things.
Yeah.
For people who don't want a news source to filter them some bullshit that is not accurate, you can go to Arizona Legislature's website. You can look at the ruling.
Yeah.
The Arizona Supreme Court's website. Look at the ruling.
Yeah.
You can go to the Arizona legislature and you can look at the 1864 law. You can read it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let anybody tell you what it does and what it says and what they did and what they said. Just read it.
Yeah.
You don't gotta go to some fucking media site that's trying to have a bend about it, because that's not necessary and it's not helpful anyway. But
Yeah.
at the same time, people also have to be reasonable about these things and not be completely insane, like I know they are, over this issue at this point.
Yeah.
Because that level of extreme, irrational, emotional reaction to shit is not helping.
So on that note, you probably heard something playing for a brief second there, huh, bro?
I don't know.
In the background,
I was focused on what I was saying, but sure.
Because I was setting up the next topic behind the scenes here that I'm about to share out. Because I think we've said all we can or probably should say about that particular topic,
yeah,
right?
I've said what I felt.
Because we've also talked about it, I believe, here on YouTube previously, years ago, like in 2020 or something, probably, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also we did talk about when the U.S. Supreme Court went back on the Roe v. Wade stuff, putting it back in the state's hands, which is where it should be. But on that note, speaking of things that aren't where they should be, are you ready to talk about Star Wars again?
Just sure.
So, on that note, something that I've already been aware of has many red flags. Star Wars Outlaws. Between the Han Solo female knockoff bullshit, and now we got a story trailer for Star Wars Outlaws to check out for a game that we're not going to play, right?
Yeah, I don't intend to.
But the only reason we're doing this is because others out there have been reacting negatively to this, and we want to know why. Because we have not seen this, either one of us, correct?
No, I haven't looked into this.
And I've been holding off on checking this out for this very stream. So, and I am going to keep the sound on because we need to hear what's actually going on. So, with that in mind, but we will be pausing it like I do in my reaction videos to, obviously for reaction purposes. So with that in mind, let's check out the story trailer for Star Wars Outlaws, officially from Ubisoft.
Each of you represents some of the most powerful criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Hutts. It's a golden age for the underworld. The Empire controls every corner of the galaxy, but they're distracted by a rebellion that won't quit. It's an opportunity to make millions.
Something that you're not going to do with this game. Well, when I say you're not going to make millions, I mean you're not going to make the amount of money that you think you're going to make with this, Ubisoft. Even though the fact that Ubisoft is already going through their own problems still, right?
Yeah.
But then there's also this. There's the uglified female Han Solo.
Kay Vess, the underworld's favorite new scoundrel.
By the way, she looks nothing like the model that's modeled her face, though. Just saying.
Yeah, okay. So we get introduced to see her face, and 2 seconds later, she's committing violence against men. Okay.
Yeah.
We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh. They're new, rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Slero, and now he wants you gone. Rob his fortune, and buy your freedom.
This job, it's a death wish. I'm in.
Oh, good. We're gonna have a cameo of Han Solo in Carbonite. Thank you, Lucasfilm. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, she looks up to him, or does she think she's better than him? Oh, I know. She thinks she's better than he is.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
They're not gonna give a respectful nod to Han. Give me a break. They're not gonna give a respectful nod to Han Solo. There's none of that. There'll be none of that.
Disney didn't do that in The Force Awakens. Just saying.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive? Know the players.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Jabba, right? Look, don't try anything. I got a whole crew surrounding the... Okay, we're skipping that part. For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship.
Was that supposed to be funny?
Yeah, sure.
The part with her raising the chair up so she could see out the cockpit?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that fell on deaf ears here.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Kind of like Luke throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder in The Force Awakens. That wasn't funny either. Even though I heard people in the theater around me laughing.
Well,
I certainly didn't find it funny.
That particular moment was intended to shock you. And some people's reaction to that shock was laughter.
Yeah.
You know what they were laughing at? They were literally laughing at the idea that the movie could be taking itself seriously at that point. That's what they were laughing at.
Mm-hmm. Well.
But this situation, yeah, it's already similar.
I hire you because you are one of the best hunters in the Outer Rim.
She's more connected than you let on, Solero. Bess is mixed up in something bigger.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place.
Yeah, that 18 and 20-year-old females have no business being at. The fuck?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, no, so the whole problem here, all right, is that every ounce of this is like intended to be a rough and tough adventure type situation. Okay.
Yeah.
Where there's physical violence required, physical strength required, athleticism required, grit, tough as nails attitude, But here's what we know we're gonna get, okay? Because we know who makes these fucking games. We know who makes these types of titles. And it's a bunch of whiny feminist fucking, latte sipping cunts in the boardroom over at Star Wars and the sweet baby inks of the world that come in and tell them what to do.
But but with Star Wars Outlaws, it's also worse than that. Do you see the 3-day early access business? Do you know how much it's gonna cost you to get that version?
Sure. Yeah. Of course.
How much?
Well, you see that part is the greed. Yeah, pre-order.
Yeah, it's about $130, $140.
Sure. That part is the actual greed of the developer themselves. That's the run astray men in the developer and business side of it that don't know their ass from their elbow either.
And would you not call this, based on what we just saw, a single player game, right?
Well, it's sort of supposed to, it obviously looks like it's supposed to be a one player mostly.
But Ubisoft has already announced that this is actually a game as a service game.
Oh, sure. Well, they couldn't resist.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't fucking resist.
Quite. So
because now that nowadays they want you to pay everything and get nothing. It's what they want with the games now.
Yeah.
They also want to be able to restrict access to anyone they don't want to play it. So that they have to do it that way because that's the only way they're going to be able to, slap hands and say naughty naughty to all the people that don't think, about everything. According to them.
Sweet Baby Inc. or no Sweet Baby Inc. But based on microtransactions alone and the greed and the price tag for this game, Ubisoft takes Star Wars Outlaws and shove it up your exhaust pipes. And that's on behalf of that underground city here on YouTube. Hi.
The point I was going to make, though, is that we all know why. We know why every meaningful and heroic character in this is going to be some big, strong whammon. We all know why. And it's because of the Sweet Baby Inks of the world. We know this is not the way any game would have been written 20 years ago. Not even 10 years ago, this wouldn't be written like this. We know that it's unrealistic. We know it's for all them, supposedly all them little girls out there that want to see themselves as some heroic adventurer and shit. We all know that's what this is about. So it's just another annoying ass woke title in the long string of dumb bullshit. And it wouldn't have to be that way, okay? Every one of us is okay with Lara Croft, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we're okay with Lara Croft because it explains, it goes through why this character is as interested and tough as she is about things. All right? None of us are going to sit there and say, oh, well, we'd never accept a female adventurer character. It's not like that. It's just that if you're going to make that character, you need to do it in a certain way. And if you don't do it like that, then frankly, it doesn't make any sense. Like, you're not going to put some 16, 17-year-old girl with no life experience whatsoever in this situation. And the reason you're not going to do that is because she doesn't know how to handle these situations. And it's going to get her killed, honestly. That was actually one of the jokes initially about Lara Croft, even was that a lot of times she'd get killed. And they even built that into several of the games where she would whoopsie doops get herself killed. Like, that was part of the gameplay. But it wasn't done as a humorous thing. And they're not going to do that in this. They're not going to make it seem like she makes mistakes. She's going to be perfect. She's going to be amazing. She's going to be tough as nails. It just never makes a fucking mistake ever. And every mistake she makes is just superficial. Like, I highly doubt they know how to make a character arc for this character.
Mm-hmm.
Where she's one way at the beginning and goes through adversity because of it, learns things, changes, and becomes better for it. Like, they're not going to make that character like this. I mean, this character like that, I mean. They're not going to do that because they're incapable of that. And they also don't think that the character has any flaws because they don't think any woman has flaws at ever anywhere because that's who they are in this development team.
Yes.
And so you're about to be given a whammon power game in Star Wars. Like, oh, great. Thanks.
Speaking of strong and capable whammon, Saber Boob, am I pronouncing that right, bro?
Probably, sure.
B-U-B-B-E.
Well, yeah, probably.
Sounds correct to me. If I'm wrong, please correct me down below in the comments section when you guys see this after we're not live anymore. Or let me know in the live comments too. Or in the live chat, wherever. point is, YouTube has a problem. False copyright claims. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
We're going to check out some of what she was talking about, not all of it because it's 22 minutes long. Because we do have a couple more things that we want to get to before we get done here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to check out a little of the beginning, some of the middle, and the end of this. But the important parts here. So without any further ado, let's go.
Alice here. Okay, so I'm going to get into this a little bit.
By the way, before I forget, go to her channel, like, subscribe, share her content out there because she deserves it. She's at 1.95K subs. Let's get her higher than that, guys.
YouTube has a bit of a problem. So for those who don't know, when you upload a video, it goes through YouTube copyright checks.
Yeah, anyone who uploads to YouTube,
millions of us that are aware of this. Yes,
it'll upload and then it'll go through and check it. And there has to be, like, if there's too much of whatever, it'll put a copyright claim on the video. And then you have the option of taking it down and redoing it. Or you could, if you don't want to do it all over again, they give you 3 options.
Or if you're not monetized whatsoever, like this channel here, and you don't give a fuck. Hi, Google. Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
You can.
And what I mean by I don't give a fuck, when stuff gets claimed on this channel, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead and claim copyright over it. When I'm sharing stuff out there that isn't my face or my voice or Nord's voice.
As we've said before, we're not monetized, so
and we never will. Well, copyright claims mean fucking nothing to us here in the underground, because we're here to promote you guys. Plain and simple. We're here to uplift others. Copyright claims mean nothing to us down here.
So what you should try and skip ahead to, since we're aware of how the copyright system works.
Yeah, I'm going to skip ahead to here.
Yeah.
Peacock is the exclusive streaming
home
of
fuck you and your ads.
of 7 Academy Awards, including.
I didn't want full screen. Thank you.
Unfortunately, sometimes that doesn't always happen. So if you dispute the claim, the person or the
yes, we know
of the Chicago fires, 3 things about.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of wish she had it labeled so we could just get to
the
whole point about what happened to her.
Else. But we'll just go with Chicago fires just to give you an idea. So let's say there's an open stock photo.
What she's talking about here is one channel based on history topics. Use the public domain stock photo.
Yeah.
Then another channel also talking about the Chicago fire, but had different editing and different effects from the first channel, but used the same stock photo that's in the public domain. The first channel copyright claimed the other history channels, the second channel's content, on the grounds because they used the same photo, which is public domain, but so anyone can use it. And then they disputed the copyright. Then the first channel moved to a copyright strike, and eventually eventually the second channel just wound up deleting their account and not making history videos on YouTube anymore because of channel 1. And as it turns out, channel 1 had a history of doing this to other history-based channels.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she's talking about here.
Yep. Yeah, and the one thing about the whole situation is that this is only one silly way the system, YouTube's system gets people. This is only one silly way it happens.
Yeah. Random YouTubers abusing it, pretending to be other people, and getting other people's channels taken down because they don't like them or whatever nefarious other fucking reasons they have.
Yeah, and then of course there's YouTube's team itself deciding what's what's not within their standards, quote unquote,
Yeah.
and deciding to just demonetize a video or an entire channel just because reasons.
Yeah.
They don't even give reasons sometimes. Most times.
Yeah.
Other dispute against that dispute, and B turned it into a copyright strike.
Yeah, as I said.
3 copyright strikes, which meant his channel was going to be completely deleted by YouTube.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Channel 1 actually went through the back catalog and was copyright striking the channel they were attacking, all of their content till their channel got deleted.
Sure, because it only takes YouTube to go, okay, on 3 strikes, and then your fucking whole channel's gone.
Yeah. So Google and YouTube give no fucks at all. The people are abusing their system, bullying the other people off the fucking platform, or just getting their channels deleted because YouTube and Google do not give a shit.
See, this is where I would point out that they should have never done the deleting thing ever for any channel. What they should have had is an archiving system, so that in case they need to revive a channel that was wrongfully done by a copyright strike, they could just revive it.
That would help quite a bit, but it still is not.
That would solve half the problem.
But it's still not the best answer either.
No, it isn't, because this is about abuses, and the abuses are the problem.
And YouTube what the hell am I talking about? Google refuses to acknowledge any of it. Hey, hands off is how they go.
And there was nothing A could do because YouTube doesn't, but they do need to fix it. If I remember right, I could be wrong, but if I remember right, A had to delete all the videos that B claimed in order for B to release the strikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About sums that up.
Video. You have to alter the song so that it's not easy.
This is when she starts getting into the copyright claims on her Tom McDonald reactions, because there is a company that, and I've seen them on all of the reaction videos to Tom McDonald stuff here on this channel too. The same organization, like Rebel Media or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And who the hell knows if Tom McDonald is actually going through them or not? Because Tom, on one hand, says, go ahead and use the music in your streams. This is your permission. Yet everything gets claimed by this company.
Uh-huh.
Something's going on here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a company that's abusing their abilities to copyright claim things. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I'm still personally waiting for any response from anyone who knows anything about that to actually give answers. The number one person who could respond is Tom McDonald himself.
Well, yeah, I mean, because he could legally hunt them down and sue them for attempting to copyright claim his copyrighted work.
Yeah, but that's assuming that they're not working with him, because we don't know if they are or not.
Yeah, it'd be great if he would say what it is,
Because from what I know, they are a legit indie studio company to get indie artist music out there. They're a legit company. But are they working with Tom?
What are they going out of their way to use to try and claim Tom's work?
I don't know, but just a little bit more of...
See, because everything we've discussed about Tom is about, I mean, half of his shtick, honestly, is about how he's not one of these, label guys. He's not one of these guys that's up there trying to, lock his work behind a paywall, and all sorts of things. He's one of these guys that's been like, look, I want everyone to hear my music. I want as many people to use it, hear it, love it as possible. And I'm not trying to get no label and contract bullshit in the way of that.
Now, I want to say one thing here. As I said before, personally, on this channel, copyrights don't bother me. It bothers me, though, when other people are trying to make a living off YouTube And what we're seeing here, other people are seeing on their channels, and it's affecting their livelihood, their ability to make ends meet off of YouTube. That's where I have the problem.
I mean, like, say for instance, in our case, does anyone really believe like either one of us is actually the artist that they're hearing when Tom is singing? Do they really believe that?
I know Hangover Gang doesn't.
I'm just saying, would anyone listen to a reaction channel video that you do, or any kind of clip like our intro clip that I've made? Would they hear that and think, oh, well, maybe that's Drew Dad singing?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, sure. I'm totally Dan Vask, right?
Like, there's no attempt by us and no claim by us whatsoever that this work is our work, because it's not, and neither one of us would even try to say that. So the idea that we've violated their copyrights is so silly.
Yeah.
And not to mention, neither one of us made a dime, and we don't make a dime on this. So
yeah.
what's the fun of being pissed about it?
Fuck you, Google.
If anything, all we're doing is drawing people to their work by that's most of the people who come to these reaction vids are already aware of it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, they're not learning about it from us. So
outside of some of Dan Vask's fans who argue over you're not painting Dan's voice in a great light, but with the terrible audio, blah blah blah. First of all, that's not my fucking job. All right.
Yeah.
My place here as Drew Dad Underground is to simply react to something, give you my opinion on it. If you're here to watch me for the video I'm watching, I got a better idea. Go to Saber Boob's channel and go watch this for yourself. Go leave a like on her channel. Go subscribe to her. I implore you to do that.
Yeah.
But
and like we always say,
watch this on my channel, here's the words that I really mean. Go fuck yourself.
And here's the thing. Here's what we always say about content that we're displaying that is not our own. We always say that you should go to the source, watch it there. If you want the original piece, you want it to be in crystal clarity and every other damn thing about it,
and then
go watch it there.
Go watch it there first, then come back and get my reaction to it.
Yeah, and
simple reaction.
So anyway,
folks,
that's sort of sub to this whole issue, but the copyright system on YouTube is hilariously horrible.
Yeah.
Because they let outside groups just choose whatever they want to do, and then they take their word for it. Taking their word for it is the part that pisses me off.
Yeah.
Because it's like nobody in the YouTube copyright division or whatever you want to call it, the team that operates the system and gives the go ahead on strikes. It's like they don't do shit. It's like we got a strike, we got a claim. All right, throw a strike on it. Like, they don't even do any research at all into this. They don't look at the video that's supposedly striked. They don't look at the situation. They don't examine who made the claim. They don't. It's like they don't even look into the details at all. They're just like, oh, you made a strike against them? Well, I guess we're going to apply it to them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, their system, when any channel gets 3 strikes, they just automatically delete the channel. And that's so stupid and horrible. Like, that should not be happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there not a way to, like, temporarily disable a channel's function? Or, like I said, archive a channel so that in case this is all an error, they can reverse it? Like, can they not just do that, maybe? Like,
or to borrow a line, if you will, from Liar Liar, quit breaking law, assholes. Right?
Because frankly, sooner or later, they're going to do this to somebody who truly didn't deserve it, who had a huge channel, and who can go to court battle with them over it.
Yeah, and ruin their fucking life, like Tom McDonald inadvertently with Mac Lethal. Right?
Yeah, or like what Tim Pool's going through right now.
Yeah, or that.
That would be the big story on this issue that I would point to recently. That was just a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But
But
no, it's absolutely one of the worst aspects of this entire site.
yeah.
YouTube is
So,
an entire site is crippled with this issue, honestly.
which reminds me, if you like this channel, do me a favor. And also, if you like my gaming channel, Drew Dad Games, do me a favor. Go follow both of those channels on Rumble. They're both there.
Yeah.
Because Rumble is plan B if Google decides today's the day that this channel and my gaming channel on YouTube are no longer going to exist, then you could go find me on Rumble instead.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is, and if that's the case, we wouldn't be able to do these things live. We'd have to pre-record them for Rumble instead, somehow. But if that's the case, speaking of bucking trends, going against the system, and otherwise being in God mode, if you will, huh, bro?
Sure.
You guys know that I've already checked this out as part of the Drew React series here on the channel, but Nord has not seen this from Tom McDonald yet, correct, bro?
Yeah, I didn't look into any of that, yeah.
So this is not my first reaction, but it's his first reaction to Tom McDonald God mode. So, and after this, we can get into the Pokemon Go topic that you have. Fair?
Sure.
All right. So, without any further ado, Nord's first time reaction to God mode. Let's go.
Hearing that they think my political music is boring. Tell them I'm sorry. I've been rapping about things that I feel are important. I can talk about how rich I am, all these little rappers that I'm bigger than.
And if at any point you want me to pause it because you want to say something, just say so, okay?
Sure.
I could show you the impact addiction had, how the liquor turned me to a different man. I'm not the kid who was visiting Disneyland. I'm not a perfect Christian, have a sinner's past, but I sobered up, prescriptions hit the trash. Now I'm sitting back with 50 billboard plaques, $20 million and a million fans. Middle fingers flipping, I can't flip them back. I'm so independent, so they get the message. I've been spitting facts, I'm not a fiction fan. I am the truth, I am the GOAT, I am the proof. You can reach every one of your goals. You can be too drunk, way too high, but it's never too late to have hope. I am the one, I'm gonna preach. You can reach every one of your dreams. You can be up against the whole entire world, and you can beat them if you just believe. They've been saying I'm Illuminati and I'm going to hell. They're desperately searching for any excuse to explain why I've done what they can't do themselves. The only way they can make sense of my famous claim I worship Satan and labels of health. I don't have an advantage. It's natural talent. Your ego is damaged. Admit that you failed.
What do you think so far?
Sure, he's you know what he's actually emulating with this? He's actually sort of emulating Eminem's Rap God situation that he made a couple of years back. Because
others have made that comparison, and then others have made the comparison to MF or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean, but
that's another independent rapper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm unfamiliar with that one. But yeah, no, it's the same sort of spit, like rapid fire, like really fast rap. But without a backbeat, because that's what Eminem did with Rap God. He dropped the beat completely and just was doing what.
I assure you, wait for the beat to drop because it's still coming.
No, I know, of course, there is a beat drop in every hip hop song, of course, but
your thoughts on what he actually specifically said? You can accomplish every one of your dreams.
Yeah, no, I mean he's talking about his own. He's talking about his own path. You know, I mean he's talking about his own trajectory, career trajectory, and all that.
And the fact that he's trying to inspire people as well.
Yeah, I mean the thing about Tom that is honestly is inspiring is that he is a guy who said, I'm not going to be bought. I'm not going to be controlled. I'm not going to be told what I can't say and what I can say. I'm not going to concern myself with what's offensive and try to stay away from hurting people's feelings. I'm going to say what I feel. I'm going to, I'm going to cross lines. I'm going to, and I'm going to stay this way and make myself, known this way. That's been his thing from the beginning, honestly.
If you read my hat here, bro.
Yeah.
Facts over feelings. I'm just saying.
Well, that specifically says facts are greater than feelings. which is the same
What-
sentiment, of course.
It's the same damn thing. We just word it differently, like always, you idiot.
No, I meant that that's what the symbol in math means. It means greater than.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
It means A is greater than B.
Keep in mind that math is supposed to be racist, isn't it? Anyway.
Well, well, especially when the races that are offended by it can't do it correctly. Yeah, I suppose so.
But speaking of numbers don't lie, let's get back to Tom here.
And labels of health, I don't have an advantage. It's natural talent, your ego is damaged. Admit that you failed. I remember back when I was the only political rapper. What the hell happened? All of a sudden, everyone who never gave a damn got political and started rapping. Tragic, I should be flattered. Man, I created the genre, they practically jacked it. Acting like they're in the conversation, they ain't nowhere near it on a different planet. This is not YouTube, this is upper echelon. President of Sony on my telephone. I get what I want, how I want, when I want, until the day that I'm dead and gone.
In my initial reaction at that part, I simply said, my piece out on that being, Tom, if you can get the head of Sony on the phone, can you do me a favor? Can you have him call up PlayStation and tell them to knock off the woke shit?
See, the thing, there's two things I would say about that particular verse right there. One is that it's that him saying he's the first or the only political rapper at, when he started, he was the only political rapper. No, that's not true. He may have been the only not leftist political rapper necessarily. That may be true. But not the first. He didn't invent political rap. He shouldn't try and suggest that, because rap was hip hop specifically was always political. Like from the first one, it was always political.
What if Tom is just trying to say that he was the first criticizing all of the bullshit?
No. I mean, in his particular way, yes. No one else before him was what you would call, no one was anti-woke specifically, partially because it didn't exist, but he brought attention to it when a time when people were still trying to figure out what that word even meant. Right.
Yeah.
So, and some people still don't understand what that means. But in any case, if his point is that he's the first rapper to be against a brand of fakery and social deception and manipulation that's gone on, then yeah, he is the first one of that brand. But as far as political rappers, no, he's not. That's just him lying and beating himself off on a camera. If he really thinks that he really is the first political rapper, he's not the first political rapper. That's just a lie. But on the other hand, the other point you make about how he has Sony on the phone or something, I don't quite know what the point of that is, other to say he's defeating the industry, I guess. I don't know. What I would say
that's what I think he's trying to say.
Yeah, I think he's sort of like dancing around the industry. Like, look, I know you're there. I know you're important. You think you are, but I don't need you. That's pretty much his message on that. I don't need any of you people in the industry.
But also with what you said about people that don't know what woke means, kind of like Bob Iger.
Yeah, well, fuddy-duddies.
Yeah.
That's just basically not being with it or not being aware of anything. That happens to, millions.
But anyway, let's get back to it.
This is upper echelon, president of Sony on my telephone. I get what I want, how I want, when I want, until the day that I'm dead and gone. The internet in love with beef, they want rappers at war. But I don't care who's coming at me, I swore that I wouldn't do this no more. The last time I battled the man that I trampled, lost his career and then had a divorce. That wasn't fair, homie got torched. I feel the weight like I'm carrying around a corpse.
Yeah, that's the reference to the beef with Mac Lethal at the time. Bro?
Uh-huh.
Still no
sure,
deal, still no teams.
On that point, it would be nice if rappers weren't trying to destroy each other's lives over their art. But that's actually a long-standing tradition at this point in hip-hop also.
And since then, Tom has said that he's not going to do Disses no more because of that.
Yeah, well, that would be nice of him.
Because doing that to Mac made him feel like shit.
Uh-huh.
But either way.
Still no deal, still no team, still just little old me, still making fun of the whole industry, still rap on my own beats. I'm the only multimillionaire in my family tree. I keep hearing rumors that my parents rich and that's how I got in the lead. That's a big L-I-E. If you want to know the truth, I guess I can show you why I move like this. Let me take you back into my head, tell you about the movie I live. Former alcoholic, nothing in my wallet. Every doctor said that I was depressed. Should be in a coffin or inside a cardboard box and addicted to meth.
This part that we're getting through here took me back to living in Winona by myself. Yeah.
I was sleeping on my best friend couch, always dreaming of a West End house. We was living.
But what I mean by that is before and after the Trump era. Does that make sense now?
Well, sure, or in his case, he's just talking about personal struggle.
Yeah, well, it was a struggle for me under in the Barack Obama economy, and also after Trump in the current economy at the time before I escaped, thanks to you and Mom coming to get me and bringing me to Arizona. By the way, once again, thank you for that, bro.
Yeah. Well, it's important. See, what he didn't have, what Tom didn't have, that you do have. Okay.
Yeah.
As Tom didn't have apparently a useful family structure, and he's aware of that lesson, and he talks about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, and you have seen firsthand, that when you do have a family structure that gives a shit and does what they should be doing instead of what they shouldn't be doing, that everybody in the family can thrive together. And nobody gets left behind, left on the street, left, to their own devices or in a hole somewhere. Like, in good families that function well, nobody has to deal with that.
Yeah.
But if somebody has to deal with that, usually it's their own choices or the fact, or some combination, or the fact that they have not useful family that has abdicated their duty as a family member to this person to not do anything to help them out.
Yeah.
Now, there are some people who do things, like I said, there are choices that people make, and sometimes it's their own downfall. And they, refuse help, and they don't want things to get better, and they're just sad about themselves or whatever. And they prefer to spiral than to do things right. And, those people need to change, and boo on them. But we're all aware of Tom McDonald's struggles. And we're all aware of what he went through, because it's the same thing with a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, it's not too much different than the next guy whose struggles.
Yeah, the only struggle that I didn't have was with alcohol or drugs.
Yeah, no, and I mean, you obviously, again, good family upbringing and all that, and strong family around you, or at least in your life, keeps you away from that type of thing to begin with.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no kidding, but yeah, he didn't have that. He clearly didn't have that. So he had to go through whatever he went through on his own, I assume. And maybe he had one friend. Maybe he had just his girlfriend. I don't know.
At the time, he had Brandon, and he mentions that later in this.
Yeah.
But let's get back to it. Speaking of.
In the basement, sweet east side, praying we get out. Motorcycles on the front lawn, bunch of crackheads in the alley. Open up my bedroom window and tell them there's empty bottles they can have. Cops at the door, I couldn't sleep, making up noodles to eat for a week. I couldn't stomach the food I was making if I wasn't high, so I always had weed. Leaving the crib and the neighbors are tripping, I flip them the bird, I ain't stopping to talk. They leaving us notes on the passenger window, cause we always park in the whip in they spot. 10 in the morning, we sipping on 40s and taking the Honda Civic up the block. Looking for one of my homies who living on the street cause he got addicted to rocks. Waiting in line at church, they giving out food. I would pull up every second Sunday, get some hard-boiled eggs and juice. That was the move. I was a broke boy, then I blew up. I was suicidal, yeah, the mood sucked. Now I've been rich, I done made hits. I've been praying, I don't screw it up. And now that I've blown up, they're mad that I've grown up. They missing my old stuff. They say my political music's all sounding the same and the flow suck. I'm never gonna be the old Tom or recapture the magic of old songs. I don't know, Tom. You the GOAT, Tom. Give me what I want or I will go, Tom. Shut up! I'm not the guy that you fell in love with back when I was young and dumb. Always getting drunk, taking hella drugs, living in the ghetto, no food for a month. Couldn't pay the power bill, the shower filled with towels, mold, and hella bugs. That was the old Tom. That was broke Tom. Stop saying you miss who I was.
on that note, my only thought is in comparing to Eminem and his old music, Eminem was also addicted to alcohol and drugs.
Oh yeah, no, like the absolute Pandora's box of social ills in the past of his life is crazy.
Was
just everything you can imagine.
Was Eminem, but
that showed in his early work too.
Yeah,
it all came through.
But what I'm saying is, well, I don't. There were only 2 songs from Eminem that I actually liked, "Without Me" and "Lose Yourself." That's it.
And he is a whole other issue. And honestly, we could have an entire show about his career and life and our opinions of him and everything.
Yeah.
But the point Tom is on here, is sort of a one we understand very well, but what I don't like that he's making a point about here, not him making the point, but the part that I do frown on is when people worship poverty, when people glamorize poverty, when people consider someone not real if they're not poor. That part I don't like, because that's ridiculous. No one should want anyone to be poor. No one should want anyone to be going through the struggle. That's not what we should want for each other. We should want every single person we meet to have what they need and live a healthy life and not be struggling. That's what we should all want. And for people to be like, I don't like how you are now. You used to be better, Tom. What happened to you? You used to talk about the struggle. You used to rap about how miserable things were for you. What happened? Now all you do is political rap. It's like he doesn't have to deal with that anymore. Think about it like this. If you went through all this shit that Tom went through and some other rappers have gone through, many in fact, like say, even if you look back at like NWA and what those guys went through in Compton, they wanted to talk about it, but they wanted to talk about it so that people their lives would improve. That's what they wanted to talk about it for. Okay. So if his life was the central focus of his adventure here, and he wasn't trying to save a whole community from this, he was just trying to save himself from it, and he did that, why would he want to go back on it? He accomplished his mission. He saved himself from his situation. He's going to talk about saving himself from his situation. He's not going to try and save the rest of you. That wasn't the point. Like, if you're struggling or if you're going through it, that's, more power to you. We hope that you get through it. But Tom's not going to sit there and rap about the misery of other people's lives. He's going to talk about himself. Many rappers do. It's very common. They don't tend to talk about other people, and usually when they do, it's negative. He went over that too. But the point that I would make about that is, yes, people who want to put Tom down because he doesn't rap about the struggle anymore, or he does rap about the struggle, but he raps about how it's in his past, and they don't like that. They want him to rap about how hard it is now. It's not hard now. He's having a good time. Like, his life is better. And he's trying to keep it good. That's his focus. Now, all of his political stuff, they may disagree with, they may not like it, whatever. But that's where his mind goes when he's not struggling. Like, if he's not suffering every day with a horrible living condition and horrible friends and drug abuse and alcohol, then he talks about politics. That's just what he does. That's what he is. That's him. And if you don't like that, you don't like him. As simple as that.
But with that in mind, let's get back to this.
The old Tom, that was broke Tom. Stop saying you miss who I was. Now you can give me all the Gucci, give me all the Louis, give me everything I wanted once. Give me Lamborghinis, give me all my flowers, give you everything I have just to be loved. Now they call me racist and they say I'm canceled, but I guarantee you that there will be blood. I ain't going nowhere, I ain't stopping nothing. I'ma really go there, I don't give a... I'm the best thing going right now, they can't mess with me. I've been up, I've been down, I climbed out my grave, I'll be great. Wait. Before today, and I'll be great till I decide to walk away. And I'm the one you have to thank for every independent artist getting Billboard plaques. I showed everybody how to beat the record labels, and still I don't get no thanks. Everybody who been hating on me got these every little thing I'm doing. I mean, they dress like me, sign CDs, no one is buying their music. I'm the blueprint for these YouTube kids. Every single little view you get, every time you get an iTunes check, you just imitate what I do best. I'm on Fox News.
With that in mind, Tom, thank you for the views here on the channel for reacting to your stuff. I love you, man.
Yeah, no, I mean there's a certain amount of credit due. There is. I mean, it's not everything. It's not like he's the central focus of all independent music in the world. But
he's not. There's a bunch of independent artists out
he
there.
has had an impact. He does have quite a following. He has done good work, and it is commendable, and it is worth, a positive review, and it is worth being appreciated, and it is appreciated. Is he the most important rapper of all time? No, he should back off on that claim. You know what I mean? He shouldn't cross the line and be like, none of you people would be here without me. Like, I don't know if that's accurate. Like bow down and thank me for your careers sort of line is sort of, I don't know about that one. That one I wouldn't probably say if I were him.
I assure you that we would still be breaking Roxy without Tom here.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of independent rappers who would still be doing their thing without him. If he had never existed, they'd still be there. He should acknowledge that he knows what he's doing, and that he has helped some people, and that he is an inspiration to many. But he's not like, none of you people would exist without me. That's not accurate.
I would still be doing Drew Reacts on this channel without Tom. Because the first one I did wasn't actually called Drew Reacts. I was just reacting to the trailer for the High Republic book series from Lucasfilm and Disney. So that's all. So if it weren't for Tom, that's all Drew Reacts would be. It would be reacting to trailers of bullshit.
And Tom's a good artist. Tom is a good artist, and of course, every good artist, every good popular figure, it does change people and does change, therefore, history, because they're touching people with their music. And that's great, but that's not, he shouldn't stand there and stroke himself on camera over that, because that's everyone who's ever created popular music. They've all done that. So
with that said, let's get back to it.
I'm on Rolling Stone, in the New York Times, on the radio, got 1 billion views, Millie on the gram, you still paying to be verified, man. I am the reason that Billboard removed all the digital sales charts off their website. I was outperforming label artists and executives.
Okay, pause. Thank you, Jesus. That part is true.
And I wasn't even going to try and dispute that, because I already know how that situation went down.
Yeah.
Pressured them to hit the red light. Universal, Warner Music, Sony, CEOs wanted me dead, but they ain't never gonna really kill me. They just cancel the digital charts instead. Stop telling me that anyone else is bigger than I am. Go get the Nielsen SoundScan numbers. Tell me what you find, man. Who's the biggest I am? They're angry that I love America. Guess it's a problem because I'm Canadian. I live in the States. I gave 200 grand to the veterans.
I assure you that it ain't no problem, because you were Canadian, Tom.
Well, here's the thing I would say about Americans. Okay, there's two kinds of being American. Okay, there's anyone who lives here, born here, whatever. There's the natural case of being American, but there's also the philosophical case of being American. And frankly, anyone can be an American if they adopt the philosophy of Americanism. They can all be that. Anyone can be an American,
like Tom did.
This is why we are a country that is supposed to accept immigrants, because we are an idea set. We're not a race. We're not a religion. We're not a race. We're not a gender. We are a set of ideas as a nation. Anyone can accept them or reject them.
And to clarify, Nord's talking about legal immigrants, not the ones invading.
No, I just meant the concept of someone becoming an American. Becoming an American requires you to accept a set of ideas.
Yeah,
that's what it requires. Nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And you can accept them or reject them, and that would be what would really make you an American or not, whether you accept these ideals or whether you don't. And so, the problem we have, as we say with immigration, if we're going to even touch on that, is that there are many that come here who don't want to accept the ideals of the country, and those are the ones who refuse to become Americans. But they want to be here anyway. and claim the mantle without having to adhere to any of the principles.
Well, then do it the legal way. Take the test. If you pass, you're in.
And
if you fail, go fuck yourself.
And we're always going to resent that category of person who wants to reap the rewards and benefits of being an American without actually choosing to do that, without having to submit themselves to the philosophy of what an American is.
Yeah.
That we will always resent, and that's why it doesn't pass the smell test. But that's an entire different conversation. The point he's making here is that you can love America and you can be an American. You don't got to be born here. You don't got to hail from America. You can be an American anywhere. And you can also not be an American. You can be whatever you want to be. In our case, America is just an idea, a set of ideas.
I'll give you a couple of names of two people who embody the American spirit, and they don't even live here. X-Ray Girl and Krista Nova.
Yeah, no, and then, I always talk about Jordan Peterson, for instance, like, being that he's Canadian also, but
that's another great one too.
He might as well be an American all the same, because he accepts the ideas just the same also.
Exactly.
So, if he moved here and he decided to become an American citizen, I'd be like, yeah, well, he fits right in because he's already accepted the ethos of America to begin with. So
if he were to do that, I would have a question for him. What took you so long?
No, I know, but being native to somewhere makes it really difficult to ever really want to move if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Not everybody who's native to somewhere wants to get away from it. Some people actually enjoy where they're from. Some people have pride in where they're from.
So, did you enjoy Chicago?
Well, there are some merits, obviously. If it didn't have any merit, it wouldn't exist. But I don't wear that as a badge of honor that I'm from Chicago. It's like,
well,
there's not much actual Chicago about me at this point, but but I'm still an American. See, so if we're talking about nationalities, obviously I'm an American. I accept the America's founding principles. I accept the concept of what America's supposed to be, and I like to be a part of it, and I like to not disrupt it. I'm not trying to destroy this country and tear down everything. I'm not trying to, see, so much change that it becomes a different country. I don't want to see any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that certain things require preserving, certain things require challenging, and certain things require criticism, and certain things require addressing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I personally think the first step in saying you're an American is to like, or at least like, if not love, the country.
Going back quickly to being proud or not of where you came from, I came from Vermont originally, and there's nothing to be proud of for Vermont. That state is filled with a bunch of brainless twats.
Okay. Well, let's not. Sticks is a good person. We'll give Vermont Sticks. They've at least got Sticks going for them.
Yeah, but see, you can watch any TV show from back in the day, and any Vermontian that was asked about, like, who's the vice president, who's this, who's that. No, nobody fucking knows in that state what the hell's going on outside of Vermont.
They're a bit lost in delusion as a population generally.
A bit would be an improvement.
Yeah, it's not the greatest state in the union for sure.
It's just the 14th.
Uh-huh. But anyway, yeah. I mean, the point Tom was making here about he's not necessarily originally hailed from America, but he considers himself an American, and
so
okay
does all of Hangover Gang too.
And that's okay because what he's saying there is really the part that has meaning. He loves the country and he wants to see what's best for it.
Which is more or less the backbone of America, as it is, or as it should be, I should say.
Yeah, and well, I mean, if we take, for instance, the example of the Hong Kongers back in, what was it, 2020? I believe it was 2020. Man, some of those people were more American than some of the Americans I know. You know what I mean? So, just because they weren't here doesn't mean they couldn't actually be Americans. Yeah, they could.
Public service announcement. Not all of the opinions that Desert North shares on this channel are reflective of this channel.
Yeah, no, they're reflective of me, and you should take them as my opinion, not
Yeah.
mine and his.
Yeah. So case in point, when he says something, don't blame me in the comments, which has been happening.
Yeah, well,
That's his opinion, not
the Dan
mine.
Vask people didn't want to hear anything besides praise about that, so that was fun.
Yeah, well, they're a bunch of anal assholes anyway. Well, not all of them. Those ones were.
Sure, that's going to happen with any large fan base that are hyperventilating.
But speaking of, as Tom would tell you, an easthole.
Yeah, just like we don't want to get the Swifties on us either, even though neither one of us have any use for Taylor.
Well, I don't care. Fuck them.
I know. I'm just saying, like, the reason we don't want that is because they're relentless and there's millions of them and they're all drones ready to strike.
And they're also blindly worshiping the devil like their hero. Anyway. Back to one of God's servants, Tom McDonald. Let's go.
I live in the States. I gave $200,000 to the veterans. I am a patriot. I am not faking this. I don't need to keep on making.
This is a thumbnail. For sure.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, that is a thumbnail. Yeah.
That's beautiful. If only Tom could be president of the United States. Just saying.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily go that far, but
you'd be better. Well, anybody would be better than Biden. What the fuck am I talking about?
He is appreciated as an American, even if he isn't necessarily, technically.
Tell that to Hangover Gang.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's could have retired 3 years ago, basically. Go check my bank account, buddy. I'm crazy rich. I don't need money. I rap because I'm made for this. I am only doing this because I love it. I told every record label they can shove it. Rappers hate on me, but I'm above it. 93 Shawn Michaels, everyone can suck it.
93 Shawn Michaels, everyone can suck it.
That was actually almost comedic right there.
That was good, though, too. Plus, Tom McDonald used to wrestle, so you expect wrestling influences. I don't remember the word I'm looking for. But anyway.
They want photos when they see me out in public. Then they trash me in the comments. What a bummer. I sign autographs and spill my guts and stomach. All I get is people praying that I'll plummet. I came a long way. Dreamt of this all day. I should have saw graves, but God saves. I got faith.
I should have seen graves, but God saves.
I disagree with him saying that all he sees. Well, I mean, maybe this is his perception, but I don't think all he gets is hate. I think maybe he's focused on it, but he gets a lot of love. He doesn't get all hate.
Yes, that's true.
Like, he's not one man against the entire world who thinks he's trash. Like, that's not really reality there.
This is the dark side of Tom's mind.
Yeah, no, he's focused on the haters, and that's what happens when you do that.
At the moment, yes.
What a loser. I needed boost to maneuver. Bottles of hooch in the cooler. Now I'm the proof that you can choose to be a trooper and regroup and pursue a future, be a ruler. Screw all the rumors. That all the dudes will be.
And he's mostly responding to the disses here without naming anybody. So,
yeah.
So that's what this is.
Stupid on computers. Hate is a fuel that humans can use to improve themselves if they don't let their wounds ruin their movement. You can do it and then you can lose it. You can choose to view it through some different pupils. You can shoot for the moon if you miss it, recoup it, and then execute it till you make it through it. There ain't no excuses. The rules are confusing, so break them and use them to find the solution. The truth is you're losing till you are immune and you turn the abuse into your revolution. I've been addicted to plenty of pills, poor and mentally ill. If I can do it, you can do it. I went from homeless and drunk to turning down record deals. I got so many wins that I forget to win. So many plaques inside the...
So many wins that I forgot to win. Bro? Are you still there? Bro?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Should be all right then.
Did you hear that line from Tom? I got so many wins that I forgot to win.
Yeah, another comedy line.
Yeah.
the crib, they getting hard to live. They so jealous, I'm just glad that I ain't them. Thank God I ain't them. They got money, they got pennies, they got dollars, but they ain't been making any sense. They got hundreds, they got thousands, I got 10, 11, 15, 20 something names. But this ain't always what my life was like. Honestly, it still give me chills. Way before all of my viral songs, before I was living in Beverly Hills, way before I went and sobered up, back when me and Brandon couldn't pay the bills, way back when I should have been locked up, overdosed or getting killed. My sister called me from the hospital, said her job's killing her, and that was a fact. She working overtime often, out of options, having panic attacks. Didn't let her finish talking, told her walk in and to quit and call back. Next thing I know, she's in California and she's working for Hangover Gang. And Daddy always told me I was special and one day I would conquer the music business. And I guess he was right, because look at my life. I just bought him a new Porsche for Christmas. And Mama worked harder than any woman on earth. Her boss would have never have fired her. I recognized they weren't giving her what she was worth, so I retired her.
Your thoughts, bro?
Well, sure. This is, this is what a man does when he loves his family.
Yeah.
Sort of just par for that course.
Yeah, unlike mainstream rappers in the industry who talk about girls having sex, drugs.
No,
alcohol,
yeah, no. I mean, a lot of them get a little bit of money, and then suddenly they just lose themselves in this shit. Like they go in reverse. They start out with a relatively straight life, and then they get into the game, and then they fuck themselves up. Like a lot of them do that.
Yeah.
And they end up where he started. After a lot of bad choices.
So they flex with all the women that they fuck, all the drugs that they take, all the alcohol that they drink, all the cars that they drive, and how messed up their life is. That almost sounds like a rap.
Yeah, or how messed up their life is now because of their money, basically.
When Tom flexes, here's his flex on screen right now. His family.
Yeah, no, I mean he's taken a life that was not that easy and turned it into a nicer situation. Whereas a lot of people take life that's not that easy and they get money and then it just continues to spiral even further.
It's more than that. Tom took the struggle he went through and with everything he's gained also took whatever he gained financially to make his family's life better too.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it, if you're going through life and you're not growing and learning at all times, then you're not doing anything of use.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're making mistakes that you weren't making before, then you're going in the wrong direction.
Yeah. This shows that Tom is obviously in the right direction.
Sure.
I recognized they weren't giving her what she was worth, so I
And like I said in my reaction, at this point, shout out to all moms out there. Thank you for what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Especially to ours.
Yeah, we know several good ones. They're out there.
And also our sister's a good mom too.
No, yeah, well, yeah, of course. That's one of them. One of the mothers we're talking about. Yes.
Well, I'm just shouting her out specifically too.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to this.
Retired her. This ain't white privilege, this ain't trust fund, this ain't good luck, this ain't silver spoon, this is hard work, this is long nights, this is all me, this is what I do, this is palm trees and Ferraris and a calm breeze and a pretty view. If you don't believe I deserve it, then you never lived the life I did and you wouldn't make it through. I came out of a city where I still don't get no respect. I moved away and I blew up and everyone else is so stuck in the town that I left. I'm not impressed, and they've been saying my video views are all fake, and I honestly hope it helps get them some rest. I'm worth like $30 million dollars, all you bums are living check to check. Now everybody is an enemy, they all jealous that I'm a celebrity. Well, screw them, screw the government, screw the record label, screw the mainstream. I'm in God mode, they in beast mode. We are not the same, we ain't equals, and
I'm in God mode, everyone else is in beast
yeah,
mode.
and the beast he's referring to is the beast. Yeah.
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 And Tom is now in God mode.
Yeah. That's actually what he means when he says that. Whereas some people take the word God mode to mean I've become a god.
No.
That's not what he means. What he means is that he's got God in his life now.
What Tom means is that he's walking with God now.
Yeah, exactly. So his meaning is alternate to what you would think on the surface, or what's normally used meant when that phrase is used.
Yeah, because when you look at that, yeah, you would probably normally think that, oh, Tom thinks he's a god. No, he's saying that he's walking with him.
Which is, by the way, what Eminem meant when he did Rap God. He meant himself has become a god in rap. That's what he meant by his video.
So are we now saying that Tom is the anti-Eminem?
Because Eminem wasn't. Here's what Eminem wasn't saying with Rap God. Eminem wasn't saying you should do godly rap. He wasn't saying that. He was saying I've become the greatest. I am the greatest. No one will ever defeat me. No one will ever be better than me. I am, I'm Ali, pretty much. I can't be brought down by anyone or anything. I am a god. That's what Eminem was saying with his video.
Let me just say this about Eminem, and I'm probably going to catch hate from the stands out there, but I personally don't give a fuck. I've already gotten hate from Dan Vask fans at this point. for apparently no fucking reason, but...
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, good Eminem was post his drug and alcohol years, but before he told half the country to go fuck themselves because they voted for Trump. That Eminem was the greatest Eminem. Now, to me, he's just Marshall Mathers at this point. Eminem's dead at this point to me.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, he had alter ego to his alter ego to his alter ego, so
yeah.
I mean, it's a complicated individual, and like I said, we can make an entire freaking video over just him. But
yes, because if I were to do such a video, I wouldn't be calling him Eminem. I'd be calling him Marshall Mathers the whole time.
Clearly, while they have parallels, these two men.
Yeah.
Tom and Eminem.
But they couldn't be so farther away from each other that it ain't even funny.
Yeah, they've had definitely different directions in their lives for sure, despite starting out in a similar position.
Tom evidently was like, "Ooh, what's that white light over there? That's God." Eminem, what's this over there? That's propaganda.
That's the Dark Lord waiting for me to sell my soul to him. Okay, I'll go do that.
That's the devil there, Marshall. Okay, fine. See ya.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anyway, back to Tom here.
Pray to God that takes a deep throat. Got 11 inches for you weak hoes.
Bro?
Yeah.
Anything for that?
I don't even want to touch on that one.
Yeah, a lot of people, from the reactions that I've seen, some people don't even pay any mind to that, but they pick up on the next line. Others don't pick up on the next one coming up here, but they stop and go, "Wait, what the fuck did he just say about the deep throat and having 11 inches for you weak hoes?"
Yeah.
And then I've heard other people go, "Can we fact check that?" Okay, do you want to be the one to pull Tom's pants down and measure him?
Completely unnecessary, but it goes along with pretty much everything else he's saying in the song.
Yeah, so let's go back just a hair here.
Screw the government, screw the record label, screw the mainstream. I'm in God mode, they in beast mode. We are not the same, we ain't equals. And I pray to God that takes a deep throat. Got 11 inches for you weak hoes. Y'all cannot critique me, y'all ain't in my league still. All your hate completes me, I can't be killed. Y'all just wanna be me, maybe be chill. Leave them bleeding in a wheat field. All my missiles heat seek, you can beat me. Homie, keep still. I can tell that you don't eat meat. Ton of green beans, you a vegan when the beef's real. Everybody saying that.
Did you get that part?
Well, your stream cut a little bit there for a second, but so I
I'll
didn't really
go
catch
back
that part. But yeah, you don't have to go back too far, just a couple of seconds, I think.
Yeah. So you could pick up on the vegan reference there.
Beat me, homie, keep still. I can tell that you don't eat meat. Ton of green beans, you a vegan when the beef's real.
Did you catch it now?
Yeah, the beef's real, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yeah.
Yeah. So was that funnier than the deep throat joke?
He's there's some moments where he's being funny deliberately. That's one of them.
And so is the deep throat one with the 11 inches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there he's being vulgar. That was just him being vulgar, frankly. It's what it is. I mean, threatening to, deep throat somebody and come look at my 11 inches. That's pretty vulgar. But I
Either
did say I
way.
wasn't going to touch on that, so here I am touching on it anyway.
That's because I made you. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
That's what your older brother is supposed to do.
They're the ones who really faking though, and their songs all on YouTube. Well, my songs on the radio. They claim they hate fame, but they change when they need streams. Then they say names and play games and take aim and hate on me.
What do you think there, bro?
Yeah, that's sort of a summary, isn't it? That's pretty much the sum total of everything he's been saying for the last couple of minutes.
Yeah. But there is one last thing that he has to get to here, and this is the most important part.
Yeah.
Like recently, Mom and I had a debate over, I can't remember what it was, but, there was years ago, there was a perfect game that a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers was trying to get, but the umpires screwed him out of it with a blown call. If you remember that,
sure,
bro.
Yeah.
And my thought, because the umpire apologized to the other umpires, the owner of the team, the pitcher in question, the other players on the Detroit Tigers, the one group of people that he had to apologize to, I don't recall him ever apologizing to the fans. And that doesn't sit well with me.
Yeah.
Because the fans are the ones that pay the money for the tickets. In some cases, season tickets, which are a pretty fucking penny. The baseball equipment, the jerseys, all of the apparel and accessories for their team. Now suddenly they don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they matter when you want to pay your players, get paid as the owner of the team, keep the stadium open, build a new stadium, God forbid, or move the team to a new city. You need money for that. You get it from the fans. The fans should be number one on your priority list. But, as you're about to find out, Tom gets that.
Games and take aim and hate on me.
Wait, I got one more thing I gotta say.
I don't need any more money. These days I just do it for all of my fans. I pray to God I inspire somebody or show someone who thinks they can't that they can. I'ma keep going till I'm in the coffin. I promise no stopping till I kick the can.
To the day that they're dropping my box in the ground, it's Hangover Gang.
Yep. Bro?
Yeah. The one thing I wish he would do more of, and he really didn't do any in this song, is I kind of wish he would do more singing songs, because
kind of like Superman.
His rapping is good, it's good, but he also has a good singing voice, which he doesn't put on display very often.
Yeah,
and he really should, because it's good.
Yes, it is.
So that's all I have to say about that.
You and Mom have that same opinion, that you both prefer his singing voice. I like whatever he's putting out. So
yeah.
But on that note, as you can well guess, this video is nominated for Music Video of the Year already at this point, but for the end of the year. What do you think about that, bro?
Sure. Yeah, no, it should. That's fair.
Yep. So on that note, thank you, Tom, Nova, Jenna McDonald, his sister, Jared Potter for the VFX, and the drone footage from Corey Burns. I don't know who you are, but thank you as well. Oh, that reminds me. There's one last part at the end here. Tom's dad. I believe this is Nova's dad right here. Nova, Tom, Tom's mom, Tom's sister, and I'm not sure who this is.
Oh, wow.
But obviously a member of their family in some way, shape, or form. If you guys know who the guy in the black shirt and the black hat is, let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to thank him for being a part of this too. But on that note, our last topic of the evening, Pokemon Go going woke.
Yeah, so what it was a couple of days ago, they decided to do an update, release an update that features no more genders. So now what this does is you don't have a preset series of templates for male and for female, you now just have wearing whatever and looking however you want, and you could mix and match female and male traits, and you can have like a female upper body and a male lower body, or male face, male hair, male face. You can have whatever. And other people were pointing out, like, we know why they did this. They did this so that they can, try to appease the trans crowd. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's obviously a woke move.
Yeah.
I would point out one thing that is positive about the update, and that is that the game does play smoother than it did previously. Now, again, the woke aspect is really a shame.
Mm-hmm.
I don't appreciate it when companies or corporations or whatever, content creators are up there trying to appease, the woke crowd. I don't really appreciate that much. I mean, it's like we have a culture war here, and it's like they want to delve into it, but not really. And everybody that dips their toes in has to know that you're going to either, you're going to get wet or you're going to get burned. And that's just what, and there are going to be people who react to this horribly negatively and delete the app and delete their account and say, fuck you, Pokemon Go. And that's going to happen, obviously. And I mean, I'm like one of these people that's like, look, obviously this is woke shit. And obviously it's not going to go over well in Japan. I know that. So, which is kind of strange that they even wanted to do it. But I know that the reason they did it was to appease the Western crowd. They probably didn't even do the same update in Japan. I wouldn't be surprised if the version that's released in Japan is different than the version in the United States.
Well, that's usually the case with all this woke nonsense, that they don't do it overseas, but they do it here.
Yeah. American audience wants to, apparently, for some reason wants to see it, but nobody else.
Like with the SJW Monkey Business missions that are in Spider-Man 2, they're not in the version like in the Middle East.
Yeah.
But they are here.
But yeah, that's the long and short of it, and it's worth noting. I'm not like flaming pissed about any of that, because the game did get improved in regards to how it functions. So it's kind of like half good, half bad, I guess.
Well, I still stand by what I said with the fact that it wouldn't work on my phone whatsoever.
Yeah, I know. You had trouble playing it from the get-go, I know.
Yeah, it just would not play at all on my phone. So therefore, I have only one use for Pokemon Go, and that's this.
Good job. Now he's going to roll him down the hill.
Yep.
But other than that, that's all I had to say on that topic. So,
yeah.
Other than that, we should probably roll on out of here, shouldn't we?
Yeah. But we won't just roll on out of here. We will do something
I was going with the theme
different.
of your previous clip there.
Well, I got a different one in mind to close us out here. So, with that in mind, Nord, what are you going to be up to after this? What even time is it? 7:24? Okay.
Yeah, I got to get dinner. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see what happens when I walk out in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
But beyond that, by the way, I did purchase a DVD copy of The Sound of Freedom, so Mom and I intend to watch that at some point this weekend for the first time.
Okay, sure.
So stay tuned for maybe me doing an Is It Worth It for that with this guy. We'll see. But on that note, there is only one way to end this. And this goes as much for you, Nord, as it does for everybody that will watch this later, that did watch a little bit earlier, and anyone that comments, and for the rest of the underdogs here in the Underground City. Have yourself a beautiful, lovely night, everybody. We'll see you guys.